Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Lifelock. It's tax season, and we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it. Guaranteed. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
I want to get back a little bit to the Hollywood celebrities and some of these deaths. Of course. Jim Norton's here, Hollywood. So you've been in a couple of
That's right. More celebrity talk.
Spider-Man. Yeah. I think nowadays we look at Hollywood and the glitter and Tinseltown is definitely tarnished.
Yes.
It's not what it used to be. People don't have this adoration for celebrities anymore.
No, they hate them.
They hate them. Yeah. And I remember years ago watching The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, these celebrities would come on and they never talk politics. It was, I'm opening in Vegas. I was hanging out with Jimmy. I was hanging out with this guy. And it was all fun.
Yeah.
And they never got serious. And then for some reason, they started opening their yaps about politics and what we should be doing from, their gated house in Beverly Hills or wherever, Bel Air. And people started hating them. And then there's the other part with the supposed adrenochrome and the child abuse and all that stuff. And then I was looking back and thinking,
what's adrenochrome, like child blood or something?
Yeah, it's like supposed to be some kind of serum they come up with. And if you have to frighten the kid's got to go through like a living hell, and the adrenaline pumps into their system.
Your rug must be covered in it.
Yeah. And they somehow consume it, and it's like the fountain of youth kind of a thing.
Oh,
okay. It keeps them good looking and popular. Yeah, and that's so. There's so many of these stories, and then you see real life things happening, like what's happening with what's his name there, Justin Bieber, and Britney Spears is a mental patient.
She's always been crazy, though. She's always been nuts, and you look back at her father, like, hey, maybe he was right to try to put her in a conservatorship because she's crazy.
But why was she crazy? Because no one thought she was crazy back in the old days where she was doing the videos and everything and was popular. She was just a pop star. Maybe they hid that from everybody. But later on, you realize, and you could only assume it's because they go through so much horrible trauma being run through the Hollywood and the music industry mill. Justin Bieber is out of his mind. I mean, he's out of his mind. And all those stories are coming out about the Diddy parties and what happened to this kid when he would go to the Diddy parties and whatnot. And, like, that's part of this celebrity cabal.
How much of it is that, though, or how much of it is just being that famous when you're that young? Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy, like, when the whole world knows who you are when you're 15. Every mistake you make is documented. Every dumb thing you do is like... Everyone sees it. Like, even Gary Coleman didn't have a great ending. And he's one kid that no one thinks anyone molested. And yet Gary Coleman wound up just falling down his basement steps with his wife's footprint in his back.
in his tiny little security guard uniform.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God, what a horrible ending.
I mean, he's the cutest kid on earth, and all of a sudden just something happens.
Yeah.
There's a string of Mr. Big rolls. And then he refuses to sign my different strokes. Remember he wouldn't sign it?
Yeah. It could be like that whole different strokes thing. All the kids, Dana Plato and what you talking
Todd
about,
Bridges,
Willis, Todd Bridges. They all had issues and huge problems. So you think maybe it's just...
combination. Some people probably because there was sex, and some people probably just it's being that famous.
But then you get someone like Leonardo DiCaprio, who was a child actor, obviously. And he seems, who knows, but he's definitely not, he didn't kill himself. He doesn't have these drug problems. He does seem to like 25-year-olds.
Sure, so he's perfectly healthy, normal.
Yeah. A normal guy.
Look at Ron Howard. I mean, since he was a kid on the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
And then Richie Cunningham, and he stayed pretty normal.
So I would assume, I guess different people.
Maybe,
through different things. But I kind of, with the stories that come out, I would think some terrible things happen to these these kids. And, that's kind of the newer thing we get. But the old school Hollywood was just as bad in other ways.
Oh, my God.
They were all drunks, like crazy, abusive drunks. They got married 5 times. They had kids with different wives, neglected them. And then they'd off themselves or die in some horrific car crash because they were hammered. So it's just a different type of horror that was going on back in those days.
Did you see the clip that was going around recently? It was either Judy Garland or Shirley Temple when they were older, telling a funny story about going into a giant executive meeting when they were kids.
Shirley Temple.
It was Shirley Temple.
Yeah, that's brutal.
She was probably Shirley Temple Black by that point. Yes. She was married. Oh. And she said that they split her up, and then her mother went into one room with one executive, and she went in. Yeah. And I Googled the guy. He was a real guy. And she said she walked in, and the guy was just naked, or he took his clothes off. And he was like 60.
Yeah, and she started laughing.
It's a fun story.
She's a kid.
Sure.
So she saw it, and the guy got mad that a child was laughing at his
well,
manhood.
It's humiliating.
Yeah. But, just terrible people. The casting couch stories, they all got to come from some element of fact and truth.
And she was talking about it and laughing as an adult about it. Like, my mother said the same thing happened to her. Like, they just didn't look at it the same back then.
Despicable people.
It's crazy.
Come on in here.
Yeah.
Here's my penis. We'll be right back after these words. Stick around, won't you? Anthony Cumia Show. That's me on this Sunday evening with Jim Norton, Erock hanging out too. Having a lot of fun. I like my friends.
This is great.
I love it. Don't forget, Wednesday on Sid's morning show here, Donald Trump. He'll be talking with, you might have heard of him, the President of the United States.
That's awesome.
Which is insane. Like, I remember Sid at NEW and, sports guys. Sports guys. And now he's talking with the president. The president actually, I've heard some stories. The president really likes what he's doing and appreciates his work with the Jewish community here in New York. And, like, those Jewish ambulance that go around?
Yes.
And not the ones that chase it. Those are the lawyers. The ambulance. They dedicated one to Sid. They put his name on.
Oh, wow.
On it. And that's like a big honor. And I saw some pictures earlier of Sid at his Passover Seder at his house. So Sid's great. And he's going to be talking with Donald Trump on Wednesday. So tune in the morning.
That's great.
Here for that. He's awesome. There was something else I wanted to get to. I was still talking a little bit about Hollywood because there was one other celebrity that I brought up that I looked at. Albert Salmi. This guy.
Who's that?
He was
a celebrity?
Yeah, he's an actor, but he was in a lot of Twilight Zones. He was also, if you remember, in Caddyshack, he was Danny Noonan's father at the beginning, where he goes, I saw that. He goes, I bought a Coke. He goes, what are you, diabetic?
I don't remember it.
Yeah, he was an actor, but he's another one that decided that him and his wife didn't need to continue anymore. Yeah, you probably recognize his face. But he's in a lot of Twilight Zones. And let's see, April 23rd, 1990. So that's, but it's not a short time
35
ago.
years ago.
A long time ago. I still think the 90s are like yesterday.
35 years ago.
Him and his estranged wife, Roberta, were found dead in their Spokane, Washington home by a friend who stopped by to check on her. According to newspaper accounts, Salmi fatally shot Roberta in the kitchen of her home, where she should have been.
Absolutely. It was either going to be there or the bathroom. I might say the bedroom.
Of course. Once you're done rattling those pots and pans, get your ass into the bedroom.
Clumsily tripped. Sorry.
And he shot her and then turned the gun on himself upstairs. And, but there's so many of those from
murder-suicides?
Yeah, and I think I don't know. Maybe these days actors, they accept that they're older and they're not getting the roles they used to and things because they don't seem to be blowing themselves away as much as they used to.
Much as often as they should.
Drugs, as they absolutely
There's
should.
quite a list. Well, I would love to.
They're despicable.
Mail handguns with a rearview mirror on it. Here, enjoy this. I saw you last series. You stink.